Hey guys, this is Tom with Tom's Texas Realty, and I want to talk to you about, what am I talking about today? We are talking about costs associated with buying a house. Now, most people know about the down payment that you have to come up with, right? Whether you're doing an FHA at 3.5% down or a conventional at 3 or 5 or 20% down. And or you could be doing a VA, which is 0% down. So there's different programs out there depending on what you'll qualify for. Now, so let's talk about the costs that aren't normally talked about. And these are all the other little things that you need to think about. And we have a worksheet that we'll have a link on the page too that you can download, and it's got all these things lined out so you can write all that in and budget for it. And then after that, we're going to talk to you about how you can get some of those things taken care of. Now, once you put a house under contract here in Texas, you are going to write a couple different checks. One is your earnest money check, and it's typically 1% of the purchase price. So $200,000 house, you're writing a $2,000 check. This goes towards your closing costs, so you're not just throwing money away, but this is money you're gonna have to have up front. On top of that, you're gonna have your option fee, which is anywhere from 100 to 250 bucks. And then there's an array of inspections depending on your house. Your general inspection is anywhere from 300 to 500 bucks. Your termite inspection is typically about $100, and if you have a pool inspection, that's anywhere from $250 or $100 to $250. And so those can add up quickly if you're buying a house with a pool, when you're doing all the inspections, all that kind of stuff. Now, on top of that, there's a couple of things that aren't really talked about, and these are considered closing costs for the buyer. Number one is your lender may have loan origination fees or something on their end for putting the loan together. And this is going to be less than 1% of the purchase price. Some lenders charge it, some charge a little bit, some charge the full 1%. And so it's something to consider when you're picking a lender. Number two, you're going to have insurance. You got to pay for insurance. The bank's going to require that you have insurance on your house when you buy it, and they're going to make you pay for a year up front. So on a $200,000 house, you could be looking at $1,500 bucks for the year. And so that's one thing to budget. And number two, they're going to escrow taxes. So they're going to say, hey, we need 3 months or 5 months worth of taxes. So let's say your taxes are 400 bucks a month, and they're going to escrow 4 months. That's $1,600 right there up front, right? Now, some of these things can be rolled into the loan, some cannot. That's something you'll have to talk to a lender about. Another thing is your appraisal. Bank's gonna make sure they're not paying too much for the house. And so the bank's gonna send out an appraisal. This is anywhere from 400 to 600 bucks. Now, there's a few other items that are negotiated in the contract your agent will talk to you about, but those are things to think about, and there's a worksheet that has everything outlined so you can be planning for all of that. Now, all that being said, you're saying, man, Tom, there's a ton of expenses. You know, I wasn't really planning for this. That's okay. There's different ways to have those taken care of. Number one, you have seller concessions in your contract, which means that, let's say I've got $5,000 in my pocket to put towards the house, right? And my closing costs are gonna be $15,000 when everything's said and done with my down payment, my taxes, my insurance, all that kind of stuff. Well, you can write into the contract that the seller's paying $10,000 of that. So you only have to come to closing with $5,000. Not too bad there. The other thing is there are a ton of grant programs depending on your situation, the amount of income you make, where you're moving to, all that kind of stuff that you may qualify for. This is money towards your down payment that you don't have to pay back, right? And so that's something worth looking into. And if you're interested in that, give us a shout. We can definitely help you search through and navigate those programs. And then the third way, which may or may not be an option, but your family members can gift you funds to put towards your down payment. So there's all different ways to do it. If you've been thinking about buying a house and you're like, I'm not sure, I think I want to make this happen, or if you're like, you know what, I need to get my credit in order, give me a call. The credit thing is easy to fix. Depending on your situation, most of the time it's easy to fix. But the first step is having that conversation and learning what you need to know. So if you're on the fence, if you're thinking about moving here or buying your first home, as always, remember to keep calm, call Tom.